Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. This is the GMC Sierra 2500 HD for the 2024 model year, and there are some changes to talk about here. A lot of changes that I think you're going to say, wow, I like that, because you have an increase in horsepower and torque under the hood from what we have in this particular case, which is the 6.6 liter Duramax diesel. You will find increased towing capabilities. And you will also find, based on what I know a lot of you have told me in the past, something that I think you're going to like in the interior as well, which is a completely new look with the digital dashboard and the infotainment screen. So there's a lot going on here to talk about. Let's dig into this truck a little bit deeper and see if the features match the price on this AT4 trim level. And while the changes on the exterior are very minor, just one thing I do want to cover. You notice that flickering effect right there? It would actually be kind of cool if that was really happening. You can only see that when you're looking through the lens of the GoPro I'm using to film this video. So in case anybody asks, that's the situation. But you do still have a very strong and aggressive look. The HD logo right here. We're going to have the active air intake with the hood. That's not just there for cosmetic purposes, and obviously being the AT4 trim level, well, you're going to find that logo in a few different places. Also, the forward-facing camera right here. And if you're wondering what this is, that's the front camera washer. That works every time you run the windshield washer fluid on the windshield. It's going to spray windshield washer fluid across from here to here across the camera. You don't have to have it on the screen to do that. I will try and remember to show you later in the video what that looks like in action. Now again, 2500 logo right here. I like how GMC has placed these things, looks nice. Obviously, you're going to have the logo here for that 6.6 liter Duramax diesel I talked about earlier, and your trailering mirrors, turn signal indicators built in, or towing mirrors, I should say. They do extend out, they do fold in, and you also have the passive entry button right here on the door. What that does is when you have the remote on your person, you can walk up to the truck and touch that button, push the button I should say, and it will automatically unlock. There is your remote, by the way. And one other thing here that's very interesting. Up until now, I've never seen this on anything but Ford vehicles, Lincolns, things like that, but it's right here. You have the keypad, so you could actually leave the remote in your vehicle, unlock it, or if you just needed to come out and get into your truck for some reason, whatever the case is, there is the keypad. Pretty nice to have that. Make sure you set that, you do it within the infotainment screen, very easy to do. And real fast, while I'm talking about it, let's get inside the truck here. I just wanted to show you a couple of things. We'll turn off a couple of things here. Let's start the truck. I did want to show you how to use the front view camera washer. So we're going to go to cameras right here. And like I said earlier, you don't have to run or have the camera on the screen for this to work. But all you're going to do is use the button right here, like I said, that you would use to run your windshield washer fluid. And when you do that, it's automatically going to spray the windshield washer fluid across the camera as well. So in case you were curious about that, well, there you go. We do have the trailering mirrors that are automatically folding. You can push the button right here to fold those mirrors in. And you can see the LED lighting built into the mirrors as well. And then the button right here, we're going to hold that down, and that allows us to extend those towing mirrors out. Obviously, a lot of benefit to that when you're pulling a trailer. And something else that I want to show here, obviously you have the power side steps. And here's the cool thing about your side steps, is that if you want to, you can go into your infotainment screen and actually keep those deployed. If you wanted to do that, there's an easy way to manage that. We'll look at that on the screen in a little bit. Now, these are not these steps that you kick the button on the back and they come back here. That's why you have the step built into the side of the bed right here. That still allows you to hop up here if you needed to get into the bed, into the front portion of the bed, and gain access to that area without having to actually drop the tailgate and get in and deal with all of that. There's some more of that lighting, the LED lighting for the interior of the bed. You have the cab light, and you also have the light right back here. This is the Multi-Pro tailgate. Let's review that real fast. It's going to, well, let's do this first. It's going to open, obviously, as a conventional tailgate. That's a given, but you have a lot of additional options and features here. You can use this area, which is ultimately a step to help getting in and out of the bed, but it is a bed extender as well, and that works two different ways, actually. Let's drop the tailgate down and I'll show you that second way that it works, which is going to be right here. There you go. Pretty simple, but also very effective. And before we show how to actually use that as a step, you can also drop that down, and it makes it easier to gain access without getting into the bed again. If you have anything in this area, you can gain access just by reaching in, whatever the case is. We do have the power outlet right here. Everything that you would expect you're going to need for trailering and all that different stuff. You even have everything ready to put in your receiver for a gooseneck or fifth wheel. And even though on the 1500s, I don't think the handle is as necessary as it is here because the truck's higher off the ground. So I do find that to be more useful in getting in and out of the truck. But here's your step. Graphite material, much like grip tape on a skateboard, that's going to help when it comes to getting in and out of the truck into the bed without slipping. Payload comes in at 4,175 pounds and max towing 22,500. That is definitely an increase from previous years. Now that's going to be if you have the diesel engine option under the hood. Let's talk about the changes you'll find there with horsepower and torque. And you'll find 25% as an increase with low-end torque when you have this engine option under the hood. 450 horsepower, 975 pounds-feet of torque, made it exclusively to a 10-speed automatic transmission. That's going to be that Allison 10-speed automatic transmission that will definitely get the job done on this truck. That's why you're able to tow more and haul more, but we're just getting started. This truck has a lot more to offer on the interior. There are two things you won't find in the interior of these trucks, and that is, number one, a lack of space for driver and passengers. It is very plentiful where that is concerned. And there's also a lot of interesting little storage nooks and crannies and different places to store things. You obviously have the nice large door bins. That's actually a bottle holder right there. The armrest is comfortable. I like the contrast stitching and the piping right here. Nice colors as far as all of that goes. We also have the under seat storage right here and the tools to change a tire if necessary. There is a spare tire located under the rear of the truck in the rear area. You also have the in-seat storage right here. I think that's pretty interesting. A very nice use of potential storage space, something we obviously don't see on anything but the GM trucks, GMCs and Chevrolets. We do have the fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in. And if you're going to be doing anything that involves, well, shoes and boots getting dirty, the good thing is that you can take out the insert here. You can see the snap right there where you can just snap it down with the basic kind of a buttoning technique of sorts. That snap goes in place. You can put the carpet inserts in, or you can leave them out depending on the situation. And talk about a ton of space. A lot of leg room here. Very comfortable. Headroom is plentiful. More cup holders up here. There are cup holders everywhere you look in this truck. Heated seats, heated only. Would be nice to see ventilated seats back here, but not available at this point. There are vehicles out there that do have ventilated rear seats, believe it or not. And yes, a lot of the time they are higher end vehicles, but this is considered really a high-end truck. I'd say a luxury truck, especially at its price point. It better be, right? USB port connectivity right here, a couple of different options there, and the air conditioning vents. Now this truck does not have a sunroof. That is an available option. Personally, I like to go without the sunroof because if you open them a few times, usually the gasket is going to wear out, it's going to leak, and then you have a problem to deal with. And one thing I didn't mention earlier, you do have the corner steps here, or bumper steps. Another option that makes it easy to get in and out of the bed of the truck, even with the tailgate down, you can still use those. Plenty of space. For those with really big feet, it's still easy to deal with. And as we take a look into the front seat through the passenger side door, you're going to see, well, basically the same look we saw with the rear doors. Plenty of space, comfortable armrests, large door bins. You have a second bottle holder here, whatever you can get to fit in there. The AT4 logo on the door sill, the GMC logo obviously here on the floor mats. Power seats, heated and ventilated for the driver and the passenger. And then, let's see if we can get this to work. There we go. Sometimes it's a little finicky. You just have to know what to do. And that upper glove box will open, as well as the lower glove box. Like I said, there's a lot of space for storing different items throughout the truck. And you're going to have even additional space up here in front of the center console. You're going to have the cup holders right here. And if you're wondering about wireless charging, there is your wireless charging pad. So you just deposit your phone down in like this. There's the tray that is removable, or you can leave that in, and more connectivity options here via USB and the power outlet right there. And I tell you what, there is no shortage of space within the center console. There is a lot of space there. You can control everything you need to up here as far as your lights go and everything. Very easy to deal with. The button right here is for the power sliding rear window. That's what you're going to have back there. And obviously the vanity mirrors built into the shades right here, or visors I should say, the sun visors. And you'll also have your vanity lights right there. And let's see how far back those will slide. I think it goes more than enough as far as the distance goes. It covers everything completely. So when the sun is on the side of the vehicle, whether here on the passenger side or on the driver's side, pretty easy to deal with blocking that out. And you can see the changes here to the dashboard. A lot of changes, not only with the screens, but the overall design. But one thing I do want to show you real fast here, because it's here, something else that you're paying for, just one of those features that maybe makes this worth the price. The AT4 logo on the headrests, only in the front seat, also on the center console. And we took a look earlier at the driver's side door panel to a degree, but I didn't show you that you do have your seat memory settings right there, 2 different settings. And we'll also take a look right here. Power parking brake, everything for controlling driving modes, and all of the exterior lighting, including the fog lights. Obviously, you have a heads-up display on the truck. You can control everything there as far as position, how bright it is, and the information that is seen on there as well. And you can see some of the animated graphics right here that come up. That actually comes up on both screens, as you can see right there when you hop into the truck. And I know a lot of people are going to say, that's not a big deal to me. It is part of what you're paying for. So that's one reason why I'm showing it. And so one of the big changes that you'll see here, obviously with the dashboard, we looked at the screen here, the 13.4 inch. We also have the 12.3 inch digital instrument cluster right here. So let me show you something. If you want to go and change something, we're going to go right here. You see what I did? I pushed that arrow right there. This is the screen you're going to get to. Display layout. You can change the left side. You can change the right side. You can change the lower gauges, info page options. You can see everything that's here. And if you get to a point and you say to yourself, you know what? I really don't like the way it looks. Can I start over again? Right down here, reset to defaults. You can do that. And as you can see, I've had people ask about this before. You can go over here on the right-hand side and actually, normally you would, by default, you would have an image of your truck up there. And so that is not here. Let's see here what we have as far as everything goes. There we go. There's the truck. That's what it would normally look like. In fact, we have our driving mode right there. Let's go through the driving modes and see what we have. We have normal, we have off-road. And that's all you have as far as your driving modes go. But you can see how everything works there as far as that goes. Pretty simple, easy to figure out, but you may or may not know that that is available. Obviously, your steering wheel mounted controls. And tell me what you think right here. You have a more conventional style column shifter. I think a lot of people like that. instead of the shifter down here. Tell me what you think. Or with the Yukons, where you have the shifter up here, the push button shifter. What do you prefer? What do you like? Tell me what you think down in the comments section. And you have Google Assistant here. And here's the thing about Google Assistant. I'm not going to use that, but I could say, tell me a joke.
How do trees access the internet? They log in.
I didn't say it was going to be the greatest joke you ever heard, but instead of saying, hey, you know who, that name right there, I don't want to set devices off in your homes, because that could happen when I do that. So I stopped doing that a long time ago. But everything here you can pretty much manage with voice commands. It's a pretty neat deal as far as that goes. Even your Google Maps, you can pair your phone. You do that wirelessly. You have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Those are blacked out right here. As you can see, are not really blacked out, but kind of just darkened because I'm not using those right now. But you have that. And we did look at the camera earlier, but we just looked at the front view camera to show you how that camera washer works. You have the overhead view. There's your rear view camera. You can also come here, and everywhere you see these two little dots right here, you see how I'm just choosing which one. We have two different camera views when you see that, so you know what's there. There's your side view mirror cameras, and also there is a view from the rear of the truck. There is a lot here, I'll tell you what, and that's not all. You even have the in-bed view. You can zoom in on that if you want to. If somebody's taking a nap in the bed and you're not sure who it is, well, you can find out, or you could just take off down the road and let them roll around and wake up. I don't know. There's a lot of different things you could do. And you can see what else is here. Trailering. A lot of the things that have been here for a long time, just a new look, but still very simple to use. Let's go into settings quickly here, and I'll show you what you have. We'll go and just look through what's here. Obviously, there's a lot that you can go through and make changes and see what's going on with the vehicle. But the main thing I wanted to do is go back up here, speaking of vehicle, right here. If you need to turn on or off buckle to drive, I don't recommend driving without your seatbelt on, but if you're driving around in the pit area at the racetrack, on the farm, wherever you are, maybe you're just changing spaces at work from one end of the parking lot to the other and you don't need to put your seatbelt on, having that buckle to drive turned off could be very helpful. You do have teen driver mode as well. You have your collision detection systems. We'll go in real quick and take a look at what we have there as far as alert type, automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking. You can see what all is here. You can turn it on and off and manage everything right there. And then we'll go down here to power door locks. You can make changes there if you want to. Delayed door lock, you can turn that on. Auto door unlock, you can make changes there as well. And then we'll keep going down here because there is one thing I wanted to show you because I promised to earlier. Your power assist steps. Let's go right here. So here's the thing. If you want to deploy those and have them stay out without having to barely open the driver or passenger side door to do that, here's how you do it. When you push that, they're going to stay out. That way, if you're washing the truck, you can wash the steps as well without any problems, and then you can stow those back in place. There is so much here that we could probably make an hour or two video. We're not going to do that today. You also have the rear view camera mirror. Show you that. I'll be honest with you, that has a lot of advantages, but it takes a little getting used to. But once you're used to it, not a big deal. You can still use it as a conventional style rear view mirror. You do have the, as I said earlier, heated and ventilated seats. I need ventilated today because it's still pretty warm here in the mid to high 80s in Northwest Louisiana in late September. Just one of those things. And you have your dual zone climate control. You can see what all is here. And one point I wanted to cover here, I do have the LED lights on here in the back so you can see that in action, even though those are the hazard lights, but you can still see the lighting. One more thing that's very important here that I did want to cover is that obviously you have the power tailgate, but it's only the power down function. The trick to that, as you'll notice when I push that, nothing happens. If you want the power up function to close the tailgate, The only caveat to that is that you can't have the multi-pro tailgate for that to happen. So just something to think about as far as your options and your features go. So tell me what you think down in the comments section. Do the features match the price on this truck? And that's going to obviously vary from one person to another. People are going to have their different reasons for why they say, yeah, it does, or maybe no, it doesn't. I'm curious to know what you think. So I do want to say a special thanks to my friend Joey here at Morgan Buick GMC for being kind enough to let me use this truck today, because it's actually already sold. He let me have the remote anyway to bring it down here and show it to you. So thanks, Joey. I also want to say a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.